Bat music.
He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Hello, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Forever, the podcast where we drive through each minute of not Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher's.
That's staying in.
Oh my God. See, it's old habits die hard. Just about as hard as I want those eggs. But yes, Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever, 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And suited and booted and ready to analyse and investigate, it is I, John Parker.
I have to say, this is like an early one for the show, because you remember in previous seasons I would sort of build up to the best minute of the film for me. Like in season 1 it was like, oh yeah, the mirror smashing scene of the Joker laugh and stuff.
Minute 2 is your favourite minute.
Yeah, it was like near the end of friggin' Returns. It was like the 4 or 5 still alive, all that stuff. It was like, oh, this is the best part. Minute 2 of Batman Forever I will cite is the best minute of the film.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's just that it starts off really, really strong. Like and the thing is, you have to, like, you know, we covered a bit last minute that, like, oh, you know, this is the first one I was like actively, consciously engaged in as like a person in the world. Yeah. And a lot of it might be down to nostalgia, but I think a lot of it's just like it's a really good start for a Batman movie because, you know, picture, if you will, you know, it's 1995. And, you know, the O.J. Simpson trial has concluded, and Monica Lewinsky's just around the corner. And all this,
and England didn't make the World Cup the previous year.
It's like, oh, you've got a young Irish lad wondering why he should care. Has Eric Cantona kicked that guy yet? I don't know.
Hey, every English person supported Ireland that year, because it was the closest team who made it.
Was it the Paul McGrath era?
It was.
Yeah, there you go. I'll also note that's the second Eric Cantona reference in this season so far. But see if we can get him in every episode.
Should I invite him on?
Oh, yeah. Well, why not?
Well, I love the Batman.
You never know. Maybe he's a big fan. It's like, I love vampire-type people, and Batman's pretty close to that, I guess. There's a bit near the end, you see friggin' Robin's collars upturned. It's like, oh, you never know. Maybe that's where Cantona got it from.
That's what it is.
But yeah, so you imagine all that, and then like, at this point, I was already a Batman fan, having seen the previous 2 movies, obsessively into the animated show and stuff like that. And at this point in my life, like, there wasn't a local cinema. If you had to go to the cinema, it was like an hour's drive.
Whoa! And
it was like an event. So I think this would have been like 3rd film. I think I've seen Jurassic Park, Aladdin. And I'm struggling to remember anything I would have seen before.
That's a hell of a trio, though.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it was only for like the big movies you went to the cinema for. Whereas now it's just like, oh, this thing looks mildly interesting. I'll wander after that.
Yeah, this looks almost acceptable. I think I'll go and see it.
You know, drove up to Oma, closest cinema, and you know, even at that point, I think they were still showing Dumb and Dumber. So it was how hot and heavy Jim Carrey was coming in. And then you imagine this, you're like a little kid, and you're just like, oh, hopped up on Batman, and everywhere you friggin' look, you're getting U2 jammed down your face, and if the Bat wants to play, let's play, and on every magazine cover, and you're just like, oh my God, this movie is going to be amazing. And then, just as a simple Batman fan, you're sitting in the cinema, and all of a sudden it does this thing where the bat symbol disappears, and then Forever is just emblazoned across, and the orchestra swells it as, you know, and you're just into the movie, and it's fucking Batman's fist, and it's Gauntlet, and it's just like, holy this is amazing. And there's everything else about the build-up then, of this first section of him gathering his tools, and walking up, and the Batmobile coming up, and then just the establishing shot, like, here he is, here's your new Batman.
It does get everything out the way immediately. Like, it gives you a new tone, a new Batman, a new Batmobile. Like,
I think
everything.
it's kind of making it bad for us, because it's like, this is all stuff we should like, save to talk about later. But it's giving you everything now. You got the new theme, you got the new Batman, you got the new Batsuit, you got the new Batcave, you got the new Batmobile, you got his new equipment, you got Alfred's there back in the background. You got everything's here.
The one thing that's the same, Alfred, Michael Gough is back, baby. So we are in the same universe.
Yes. He couldn't get him off the set. So
he just lived there. He's a homeless man.
Just got lost on his way out.
At the very beginning, though, we see lots of blue light. The camera pulls back. We see the Batman logo again. So we've seen it already, but okay. And the words "forever" emerge over the top of it in green light. Now, this is what I was alluding to last minute.
Oh,
see, it was blue.
Oh, the Tommyknockers are going to take over the Gotham.
That's exactly what I mean. Yes. No, the logo is blue, and then the green of the new title emerges over it. Now, to me, it gave me a weird feeling of like this new green is destroying the old blue. It's taking over. Because blue, if you remember, was kind of the color of the previous movie. And now it's being overshadowed by the shining green light. It's almost like, get out of the way, old man.
Joel Schumacher knew that Tim Burton hated green. That's why he hates the title so much. Tim Burton himself had that Batman Forever tattoo, but he had to get it removed now. He's like, he stuck it to me with that green title.
Maybe. Green is not a color I associate with Tim Burton.
No. Unless it was like this wasn't Beetlejuice and stuff. You get like really sickly, eerie greens, but they're mostly in the background.
Greens.
Yeah. But yeah. So then, just still, even looking at it today, I was just like, this is such a good intro to a Batman movie. Just the bat symbol and having Forever coming out of it, and the orchestra going up. Oh, fantastic!
It is good. But it gets you excited.
This is up there with like. Because it was a bit weird in Returns when it was like your Batman march was kicking in over a floating, deformed baby floating through the sewers. Like it was hard to kind of get like, yay, Batman.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun time.
But, in 89, they had, the build up and then seeing the title and the and you're just like, oh, here we go. And this is the same thing. It just really gets you pumped to be watching some dark, gothic superheroics.
Hell yeah, and a hell of a lot of back crotch.
Yeah.
An unnecessary shot of Batman's groin.
Yeah.
And the suit looks different yet again here. Like, we should probably save that for later. But, you can see he's got a different suit. And he's got a really cool stock of gadgets, which I liked. And him gathering them, it reminded me of Commando.
Yes, it is actually. I had that same note. Hey. Just like this is a bit like he's Arnie, so you expect him to get the freaking helicopter gun or something to sling over his shoulder. I just had that steel drum music kicking.
Oh my god! Every movie needs steel drums playing all of the music, and yes, I also include Star Wars in that. Replace all the music with steel drums.
Just have like a deleted scene of Obi-Wan getting ready to go stop the Sand People. And it's just him like putting the lightsaber in his pocket and stuff. But I will say like that's just because the first shot's the glove, then he turns it so you see the gauntlet. I was like, that's pretty cool. It's him. The crotch shot is it's crotch shot, but
it's not just for Joel Schumacher.
Well, I think there's a lot of ass shot later on.
Oh god, yeah.
But this is also him, like he's putting on his boot. I do love the cape flapping down, and you can see there's still that slight bat wing pebbling effect on the cape.
Yeah. That was a really cool little bit of detail, I thought.
And it's kind of like it's like a half good shot in that I thought for a long time he was looking in a mirror, but it's actually you see a sliver of his reflection in the case for an old suit. And I thought it would have been cool had that actually been like Michael Keaton's suit.
Yeah, like this is the upgrade he's made.
Yeah. Because they do that in like a lot of the animated stuff. You always see like the old suits in the background. It's just always a nice little touch. Even that not even recent now, but like when they did the Return of the Caped Crusaders animated movie with Adam West.
Oh yeah.
He's obviously wearing the Adam West Batman suit, but I think in the Batman versus Two-Face, the sequel, you see old bat suits in the background, and it looks like the Lewis Wilson bat suit from the 40s.
Oh.
And I was like, that's a nice touch to be like, oh, it's the same guy. Like it's like his costume has it's evolved into the Adam West suit, but he was once this other guy and stuff. So I thought that was a nice touch. And then of course, at this point, Anton first tragically passed, but I'm sure he probably would have been quite happy to see. Because we got another crotch shot, but it's...
he would have been happy to see that.
It's Batman putting on his belt, and it's the same kind of emblem as the big emblem that's in the background of the Batcave. Mm-hmm. And it's a black belt. And Anton First was a guy who originally was lobbying for a black belt in the first movie. A quote from him here where he said, "We didn't like his yellow belt very much, so we made it black. Freak out. Absolute freak out. It's in the newspapers. He doesn't got a yellow belt. Straight back. You've got to revert to a yellow belt on him. They've heard about it. They're very upset. So I said, brass is yellow. That's yellow enough. So we made it brass. All the yellow in Batman became brass, and the Batman fans bought it, which makes Anton First sound like it's a kind of guy trying to get one over on Batman.
No, I'm with him, right? Because the character of Batman... Okay, I understand maybe in cinema and things it doesn't translate, but the character, if he was real, of course he should be wearing black.
There's hardcore comic fans who are insistent that it should be a blue cowl, blue cape.
No.
And they're like, why is he wearing armor? He should be just wearing like a gray onesie.
No.
I was like, that would look so stupid if he was jumping around. Even throughout all of Daredevil, I was questioning, like, why is this guy just wearing like a friggin' black jumper? Like, and then eventually at the end of season 1, he's just like, I think I might need to put on some armor. It's like, of course you do.
But the good thing with that is, as well, it looks realistic. Like, that's the kind of armor you might cobble together. It's not stupid superhero stuff. It's the same with Batman. Like, okay, it's a bit over the top and far-fetched in some ways, but it looks like materials you could obtain. Like, it just looks like some rubber, there's some gloves going on.
I don't think even, particularly in the first one, when the cowl doesn't even quite fit his head properly. Yeah. It's like, I can imagine a guy made this for himself.
It's not ridiculous, is it? Like, this man with unlimited funds could probably get this.
Imagine Alfred made it for him. You just like, Bruce is like, it's way too big for my head, Alfred's like, you'll grow into it, Master Wayne.
You're a growing lad.
I'm 37, Alfred, Jesus.
Eat your beans.
Because if you have some more Vichyssoise, that would help that nice skull grow. And
everyone knows Vichyssoise makes the old skull grow. Alfred is really into phrenology.
That was the tagline on the cans for a while, and they forgot to mention it's supposed to be served cold. So that's why it's such a surprise to people. They're like, what the hell? It's cold.
It made everyone's skull shrink because they heated it up. If only they'd kept it cold. Everyone would be smart now. We wouldn't have all these problems.
But of course, then we do get gathering his materials,
his dark materials.
Coming soon to BBC One. But I think it was the first one because you see in the top, it looks like there's fold away batarangs. There's normal small ones, and then there's bigger ones that kind of fold over.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, it's like bat cuffs. And then it took me a long time to figure out what the hell the thing he picks up is. I believe it's the torch he uses to cut the bank vault chain later.
He just so happens to know he's going to need it.
Well, he needs everything. That's his whole shtick. Is just like, hey, I never know. You never see any of the stuff on the belt.
No.
But apparently he's got everything. The thing is that because he has these other things next to it, though, I don't know what they are. And you see him specifically pick them up. And they look like they could also be handcuffs, but they look more like things you put your feet through when you're riding a horse, like kind of saddle.
Could be
harnesses?
Feet cuffs.
Feet cuffs, maybe.
So they can't run away?
Could be.
Yeah, it seems like something he would have.
It takes two of them. So maybe. Yeah. And there's some other random pointy thing. It's just like, I guess it's something to cut through something. Or...
The bat point.
We'll say also, we'll get into the Elliot Goldenthal and the score more in other minutes because, we can't do everything right off the top of the show. But we'll note that in the opening track of the soundtrack, all of the stuff that sounds like sound effects, like the metal scraping and all that stuff, that's part of the track. So it was, I guess, designed with the idea that he would be gathering stuff in mind. So they're like, oh yeah, throw in loads of sound effects of him, like metal scraping against metal for whatever reason.
Metal on metal.
And they cause a giant friggin' grappling hook, which again doesn't look like that would fit in his belt, unless I'm still having to just go with the idea that everything's hidden in the back, like it's all over the top of the badass.
Hey, you say badass, that's going to come up in a later minute, let me tell you. No, there's an actual usage in the draft of the word badass. So we'll get there.
But the thing is, like, he must have like something hidden around the back, because it's like, look at the size of that thing. Like,
he got junk in the trunk.
Yeah. Well, of course, then you get, because they're all building up to a nice reveal here of electronic doors sliding open and the silhouette coming in, walking up these cool metal stairs. Holy rusted metal.
Oh God, don't get me started on that line. That's the worst part of the film.
The 2 seasons ago, Jessie Milestone called that minute because she thinks that's the greatest thing that's in any Batman movie. And she thinks this is the best Batman movie of all time. So we'll get to that down the line.
I'll fight her. I'm sure she'll beat me.
Oh, well, if she does Krav Maga, I believe so. Yeah, she probably she could take most people.
I do drunken flailing. That's an art.
And then, of course, we get up into the new Batcave, which, much like the Death Star or Castle Grayskull from 1987's Masters of the Universe, just forgoes railings. Just doesn't need any railings. It's like,
if you fall, that's your fault.
I guess he's just like, if you fall in this cave, you don't deserve to be in it.
Exactly.
Like, there's a level of competence that comes with having access to the Batcave.
Exactly. Poor Alfred, though. I mean, he's getting on in years. He might have a fall. And if he has a fall in here, that's deadly.
I think we'll note as well, though, because they have, he walks around and you get the thing I know I'm going to spend the rest of the season defending. The amazing new Batmobile.
I've got a note here saying Niall likes this.
I don't know how anyone couldn't like it. It looks amazing. This is an amazing Batmobile.
I'm going to be in the middle. I'm going to sit on the fence, which is something I don't like to do normally. The design is great. It's bonkers. It's so impractical. It's so over the top and ridiculous. I can't see Batman actually using it, right? It looks flimsy like a toy. When it drives, you see it wobbling. It looks like a plastic shell.
I think it looks like an awesome toy, John. An awesome toy I have in front of me right now.
It does. It does look like an awesome toy. It's not very Batman to me. It's flashy. It's too much. The size of that goddamn fin thing on it. It's impractical.
That's still, there's all the aesthetics of it. It's like, this is perfect to me. This is like, that's just what, because I've seen enough Batmobiles and comics and stuff that I'm like, he's had stupider looking cars than this.
Oh yeah, no, he has. Don't get me wrong, he has. And I really like that weird two-tone effect you get with that underneath bit and the holes in it. Like, that looks awesome because it kind of looks like it's glowing from within.
It's like it's so superpowered that it's literally with the insides are so charged and ready to go that they're glowing.
Yeah, even though I imagine that's probably just like the inner chassis.
But
is that hang on, is that the word? An inner chassis? That's probably not the word. Is that the chassis would be the outer bit?
I thought the chassis was the under. Oh, you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, neither of us know cars. We're not gearheads. We're not the Fast and the Furious.
I'll have to make sure to get those guys on for a car minute specifically, actually, just because they will know what they're talking about.
Because they are such gearheads, after all.
But and they're into their heroin, and they're also into the cars. So gearheads in both capacities. But also your eerie silence after that is like, have I gone too far or something?
No, it's because I was drinking some water.
Oh, right.
I thought you were just going to edit out the gap.
So I've turned into like modern day Dave Chappelle here. It's like, I don't mind whose toes I'm stepping on. I'll make fun of heroin addicts. I'll make fun of anybody. But walks around the Batmobile and it's coming up on this rotating platform, which is a slight hint at later on. It's like, where is it? And it's just like, well, there's a cave beneath the cave, which you'll find out at the climax of the movie. But well, not the climax, but the lead up to the third act. And again, this is just amazing too, because this is now you're getting into the full swing of your new theme, and it's it's kind of lending to the grandeur of what you're seeing. Like, so you have this cool Batmobile coming up and it's, you know, doing the ba, 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 ba. And then up top of that, all the pistons of the platform go, and it's really building up to this. Da, da, da. And again, if you're 8 years old and a Batman fan watching that in the cinema for your third cinema visit, this is just like your head just splits open because it's just like, this is the greatest thing that has ever happened, ever.
Oh, I can see why that would be the case. Hell yeah. And it is, especially to a kid like this. You don't think about practicality. This just looks cool.
I think they're also trying to, like, as if they were worried about, oh, people love that Keaton pout. So they do the big close-up of Batman, and they seem to have deliberately put a light on his lips.
Yep. To me, the most important part of any Batman is the lips. And they know that. They've cast a guy with awesome lips, and they've lit them well.
Also, like, they're making sure, like, no, it's you could almost think it was the same guy for a split second.
No, I think that is what they're going for. Like, you don't fully see him in this minute. So you could 100% believe this is Michael Keaton, I think. There's nothing to think otherwise, other than the credits, you know. But, you know, casual people don't really pay attention when the credits are on. They're not looking. They're not reading it like we do. They might just go, oh, it's Michael Keaton. Look, he's got the lips. But there's a really weird couple of facts about this Batmobile, which I'm not going to give you all the facts. I have some very boring facts. But I found one thing very strange when I was looking into it. In the Drew Carey show, there's an episode 53, where Drew Carey wins this Batmobile.
Lucky son of a bitch.
Isn't that a strange plot? And it says Lewis and Oswald took it on a joyride, dressed as Batman and Robin, without Drew's permission.
Yeah.
That's part of the plot. And in an Everything is Connected, on a side note, Oswald, the character.
Oh, Deirdre Bader?
Yeah, Deirdre Bader. Yeah, again, from The Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, probably, after Kevin Conroy, probably the second best Bat voice in animation.
Yeah, so it's
I believe he's coming back for that Harley Quinn show as well. Like, they just know what they got. They're like, oh, this guy knows how to do serious, stern Batman, but silly. Yeah. Like, he can sell both at the same time, so...
I'm surprised he's not in this, then. But
I guess probably it's still not really like a big... I think Deirdre Bader is just like, to most people, he is, Drew Carey show, Office Space, and then loads of animation. That's his kind of thing.
I'm the same. I mean, that's what I know him from. And the other thing I had is that the Batman Forever Batmobile sold at auction, RM Auctions, for a mere $297,000, which is less than half of the estimate. Isn't that crazy? And
people don't appreciate this Batmobile. This is crazy that people aren't even paying the friggin' estimate for it.
There were loads of restrictions on the sale as well. I'm not going to read them all because it's like there's like 7 bullet points I have here. But like the Batmobile could only be exhibited at the purchaser's permanent location and specific auto shows, and they weren't allowed to drive it. They weren't allowed to make any modifications to it. They weren't allowed to like license it out or lease it out for any purpose.
This is amazing. Like, you can have it. You can pay for it. You can't have any fun with it.
You can look at it. You couldn't photograph it for advertisements, endorsements.
That's not the same. Remember they really screwed over that guy who won the Anton First Batmobile.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's just every time they make a Batmobile, like, give it to a member of the public, and then completely screw them over. You can't do anything with it. Well, you just have to buy it.
The final one was he's not allowed to sell it without asking permission.
I think these are all the same exact rules.
They're pretty similar, very similar indeed. Yeah. Now that one is bonkers to me. To even sell it on, he has to contact Warner Brothers to say, "Is it all right? Like, do you approve of this person who wants to buy it off me?"
Yeah, that's crazy. This is like if you bought like a PlayStation off someone and wanted to sell it on, you would never think that you'd have. It's your property. You do whatever the hell you want.
You have to tweet Sony every time.
Well, they're scared. They're like, they're going to sell it to freaking someone at Marvel, and then in the background.
Oh yeah, maybe that is why.
Yeah, so in the background, it's going to have friggin' Tony Stark taking a dump on the Batmobile or something. It's just like,
Oh, that would be hilarious. Or you just take it out for a drive. This piece of crap, this old thing.
and I even think they are, like, in terms of the calling back to, the previous movie. This is like, they even have a kind of Elfman choir kind of thing, because even under the you do get like a I think it's the only instance in this movie of hearing like a choir, as if they're like, oh yeah, they're still in the same kind of universe. It's like, yeah, there's your Elfman choir, like he was freaking drumming them to death in the last movie. But as awesome as the shot is, because then Batman comes over, stops to do, presumably as he's leaving, he's doing his keys, wallet, phone pat down, because he's just like, all right, why else would he stop? He just randomly stops next to the Batmobile. Or
in the words of Austin Powers, spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch.
It is slightly awkward when you realize that if you're looking in the background, what you actually see is he walks up those stairs, your eyes are on the Batmobile. He walks around, Alfred's behind the Batmobile. He goes over, says something to him that we don't hear.
Yep.
Then walks over, stops for whatever reason, and then we get like the... can I suggest you take a sandwich with you, sir? And then the way they have framed Alfred, it's almost as if they're trying to make you think that he's in front of Batman. Because otherwise it's just a bit weird that he's standing, like, unless friggin' there was a bit of him walking forward, and then Michael Gough was like, hold it right there! And then they had to take it out because Pat Hingle was just like, damn it, that's my line, you can't say that.
It's got to be that, because... You're right. I just assumed they were staring at each other, but that doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yeah, that was like Alfred's behind him. But then Batman doesn't... I guess because he still can't turn his head. He's just like, oh, I'm not turning my whole body around to talk to this guy.
Alfred, I can't turn around in this thing.
Maybe that's why. That's the only reason Alfred is like, I like to have my fun in the evenings.
He just winds him up.
Yeah, finding constant new ways to get Batman to turn around.
Well, actually, I just realized you mentioned it, but we've kind of skipped over it in a way, because Alfred comes out with one of the greatest lines in cinema history.
Yeah.
Well, Alfred and then Batman's response. The duo is what makes it good, because you say, because as you said, Alfred comes out with, asking if he wants a sandwich. And then Batman's response, I'll get drive-through.
I will concede it'll be tough with that fin on the car.
Exactly. How's he going to go to Burger King or whatever? Jesus
Maybe that's
Christ.
why you see in later scenes it flaps down into two. Maybe that's still like lowered a bit so he can get through the drive-thru.
He's regularly going and getting burgers and things.
That's like, oh, Batman let himself go after the... Unless they serve fish oil in Mackie D's. Because remember from the last movie, Batman apparently loves his fish oil.
Oh yeah, and as we know, Batman likes McDonald's.
Yeah, I think this is almost like this was designed to just appease McDonald's. It's like, we're back, come please take us back.
It worked. It worked.
There was rumors for a long time that this was specifically shot for a McDonald's advert, like this line. And then they liked it so much they kept it in the movie, but it is in the script.
It looks like an ad though.
Oh, it was used in adverts. Like, I think that's why people were like, it must have been used for the adverts. I think it probably was written in line for them to be like, we can put it in an advert later. But like, the rumor was like it was specifically shot just for an advert, and then they liked it, so they put it in the movie. But it's in the script, so I think that's probably not true.
Oh, that's a shame. But this line and response, to me, it sets the movie off on the tone it's going to keep throughout. Like, we're in new territory here. Burton would not have had this dialogue. But in a fantastic way, because obviously Burton is my favorite. But if you're changing to a new director, do your own thing, and that's something people cannot fault Schumacher for. This is his own beast.
Yeah. It's very like it is. It is giving you everything you kind of need for this transition of this. Like, here's all the stuff. It's in a similar tone to what you're used to, but it's a bit different, but it's still got this gothic grandeur to it, and it looks pretty cool, right? And then, here's your Batman, and, you can't see the bat nipples. They're there, but they're on the suit. You can't see them yet. They're hidden in the darkness just at this moment. But then just to be like, oh, but now we're flipping it into... There's a bit more humor in this one that's not like, unlimited poontang and stuff like that.
Which is hilarious, don't get me wrong.
It should be great though if it was just like, can I persuade you to go out and get some poon times?
Unlimited amounts.
You've been doing that for 2 damn movies, Alfred.
Alfred does always try and hook him up, you know.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was Selena Kyle he hated, though. That was like, he was desperate to do it in the first movie. And then he sees the swim at the end of the other one. He's just like, oh, come what may.
It's because Selena, in his old-fashioned views, she's a hussy. She's a woman of ill repute.
Now does he would go into Alfred watch into his opinions of Dr. Chase Meridian when she shows up?
Oh, geez, he's going to hate her.
It like turns out like Alfred's a Scientologist, so I don't approve of the psychiatrist coming into the house.
That would be an interesting new spin on the character.
That would be like, you wonder if Alfred could be doing that. He could be giving millions to Scientology, and Bruce Wayne's that rich he just hasn't noticed that it's all gone.
Yeah, you know, the occasional million disappears here and there. What's that to Bruce Wayne?
Yeah. But then if one day Alfred tries to talk him into going to like, they say Xenu's going to break out of his mountains.
Alfred, what are you saying?
So I've seen some crazy stuff in my time, Alfred, but this stuff you tell me, you're pretty wacko, dude.
Let me just do the personality test on you, sir. It'll all be well.
I think he could be slipping in those e-meters into the Batcave somewhere, just like, oh, you didn't realize, sir, but that driving simulation was actually an e-meter. Do you know that you're quite stressed? I'm like, of course I'm stressed. I'm Batman. Goddammit.
He lives in a permanent state of stress, but he presents a cool exterior. That's Batman.
The thing is, though, in this delivery of this, I think this is the beginning of, like, as much as I love the opening of the minute, I still think this is the best minute of the whole movie. There's an awkwardness, because he does the I'll get drive-through, and then it kind of pauses for a second, as if like it was a sitcom. And that's
a laugh track.
Yeah, this is where the audience would be like, woo, Batman!
Drive through, yeah, that's his catchphrase.
It's like Ed O'Neill is playing Batman, and freaking like all from it was in Futurama and stuff like that. She's playing Alfred like, Batman, take a sandwich with you. Yeah, I'll get drive-through pig. Woo!
Flushes a toilet.
Katie Siegel, that was her name. Because she was like the much more talented of the two of those as well. Like, I've forgotten her name. She's way better than the guy who played Al.
I really had a crush on her. Please tell me that's normal.
As Peggy Bundy, or as yeah.
Is that normal? Please tell me I'm normal.
I mean, it's a type, you know.
I just liked her vibe, her attitude, her fashion, her
She
accent.
does have a kind of Janine and Ghostbusters
exactly.
kind of vibe, so maybe that's just the thing you're going for there. But
I either like the Janine type or the mask femme type. I had a thing for Vasquez in Aliens.
Yeah. Also, it's weird that though, because you've seen like, Married with Children. I always assumed like she must be like in her mid-40s or something like that. And then you've seen her like 10 years later on 8 Simple Rules, and she looked younger.
Yeah.
And I was like, she was probably like 25 or something during Married with Children.
Yeah.
They just made her up to look like she's
like
middle-aged.
Mrs. Doyle in Father Ted.
Yeah, it was just so weird to like years later, like, oh, she was like a proper young woman when they made that. But anyway, tragically, Katie Siegel is not playing Alfred yet.
Well, we'll see.
That up, that'll be the seasons. Although I'm still. People think I'm joking. I want the Natasha Lyonne for Commissioner Gordon. Like, that's a thing I'm actually pursuing as a goal.
I 1,000% agree with you. I want that to happen. That needs to happen.
That's imagine how scenes would have played out in this one. Like, the second bank and the second anniversary. We should have seen it coming, really,
Oh, sold. Natasha, if you're listening.
Oh no, she's a fan.
She is a fan. She's a big fan.
But anywho, that is the end of it, because they has a slight awkward audience pause. Then we get the Batmobile roars into life and zooms out of the cave, and that's it for the action of the minute.
Yeah, there's a couple of names that pop up of actors, but I think we should probably save that for the next minute.
We'll be getting to all these people eventually.
Yeah, there's no point getting into it now. They're up for like half a second.
I will say, though, because I think I did it in the first season, and I didn't do it in the second season because I don't think there were any that I can recall. But because I, obviously loved going to see this in the cinema, Christmas of '95 got the VHS of Batman Forever.
Oh, I probably got it around then, too.
Yeah, of course, famously, with the Jonathan Ross's "the greatest movie ever made" emblazoned upon the back of it. But remember in the first season though, I was recalling the fact that like, on the VHS it opened with trailers for like, had like "I'm gonna get you, sucker" and all that kind of stuff, and had the random question thing that was some offer, and there was an ad for like a Batman themed computer. But in the opening of the VHS of Batman Forever, I do recall that they had the trailers for The Pebble and the Penguin, Ace Ventura 2, which at least is like, that's kind of tied in, Thumbelina, Black Beauty, Free Willy 3, A Little Princess, and The Amazing Panda Adventure, which essentially is a Free Willy ripoff about pandas, starring Christian Slater's brother, who was an actor, but nobody remembers him.
This sounds like the greatest movie of all time that isn't Batman Forever.
But it's just so bizarre, because like, you think like, I suppose like "I'm gonna get you, sucker" and stuff isn't really tied into Batman, but like, this is all properly like Thumbelina and Black Beauty and A Little Princess stuff. These are all. Why would you put on ads for this in front of Batman Forever? Like, it doesn't seem like. I think you're skewing too young. Like, that's stuff for proper little kids.
Yeah.
But this is supposed to be like, as we'll talk about actually in the next minute. It was a PG, but it was on a high level PG. And of course, the stuff coming next episode, I'll talk about some of the editing they had to do for the home video release. But we'll get to that when we get to it, I guess.
I suppose we should probably head off now. We should depart into the dark, dark night and drive off in our own Batmobiles. And if you'd like to talk to us in the meantime, we're on Facebook at the Batminute Listeners Cave. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Just look us up, Batminute. We've got a website, thebatminute.com. And come and buy a t-shirt from our TeePublic, as well as donating to our Patreon and get more content. It's all wonderful stuff. It's all weird and excellent. And you don't want to be without us, do you? You want more of us? The more the merrier. Then do all that and join us again on Friday for minute 3 of Batman Forever.
Next time, a currency calling card. The roar of a battle station wagon suggests the Bat wants to play, as our horrifying hero hastens to the highway. However, which fractionally fricassee-faced felon is flipping some finance and forwarding a hostage towards wetting his pants? Find out Friday. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.